Yeah, once again for the great minds and I'm talking about. This is 4th&10. Got the homie Tyler. You go by Tyler.
Yeah, yeah. Did I know the love right here? Ain't no beef, just ballin'. We talk our talk, then we dab it up. On the one flag, family. Early morning on the turf, feel that sun heating up. Kings and squad all lining up, that's how we show up. Fin on the stars, and no limit on goal. BT at talk slick, but it's all for the show. We grind hard, leave it all on the grass. But when the whistle blow, it's jokes and laughs. Power line, bring that muscle, alter ego, bring finesse. We all kings in this city, every squad. We under one flag, same city, same blood. We might clash, but it's always love. Ain't no hate, just pride in the game. From uptown to the east, they know the name. We under one flag, brothers on the field. That bond too real, can't fake what we feel. We play hard and pull up after one flag.
Go by Tyler. Yep.
Okay. Where you from? What's your hood? What's your squad? What you repping?
From the Richmond area. Went to Patrick Henry High School here in Ashland. So born and raised. Wife and I were out in Texas for a couple years. We just moved back a few months ago. So played with the Avengers in States this past States, and looking forward to getting back in the flag.
Okay. What sports you played growing up?
Just football, really, man. Played baseball as a kid, but football basically through and through year round. All the camps, all the travel stuff I can get myself into.
Okay. Any college or semi?
I played a couple years at Shenandoah up in Winchester, just as a backup. Never started or anything, but it was. I mean, honestly, flag was kind of my release once I got out of high school. So,
Okay. Who put you on the flag? Who brought you out?
Brad Gamlin did. Story goes, my mom and Brad actually went to high school together. Brad made a Facebook post in 2010, 2011. I believe it was 2011. He was looking for somebody to come out, kind of help just do certain things with the league, collect league fees and help paint fields, ref, take pictures, stats, the whole nine. This is when CBFA was 80, 90, 100 teams between all the formats and divisions and stuff. So I started working for Brad a few weeks in, started playing. I started on like the lowest division team that you could play on back in like 2011. But no, Brad's been a really good friend, a great influence on me, both on and off the field. But he's kind of always the one that ends up bringing me back out. So
That's what's up.
Yep.
We'll get into the 10 questions. What's your favorite format?
It's a good question. Honestly, probably the 8-man format that we have here in Virginia, just kind of like this weird hybrid format that nobody else plays, just because that's how I got into flag. It's a lot of fun. I did really enjoy the AFFL style for like the year long that we played it. I played quarterback my whole life, so anytime I can make all the throws on the field, things like that. 5-man's fun. It's great. It's fast paced. Get a lot of athletes out there, but it doesn't really showcase, some of the abilities if you come from, being a true quarterback. Not a lot of throws that you're going to make on a 5-man field that are really going to help your team out. It's a lot more just about strategy and things like that. But eights has been kind of my bread and butter, I guess, since I started playing.
Okay. Ideally, what position do you want to play when you pull up? It is quarterback?
Yeah, for the most part. I played I played quarterback when I first started playing flag, and then I played wing for a long time I guess I started playing wing with Mayhem, which is Brad's old team, back in probably starting 2013, 2014
Talk
time
to me a little
frame.
bit about that adjustment of playing wing.
It's honestly, it was really fun, man. When I was younger, my big thing with flag was I didn't want to come out and play quarterback because that's what I did in high school. That's what I did in college. So it just like I kind of wanted to just get out there and be a little more athletic, do something a little bit different. So lining up all across the field, dropping back from receiver, I would play center if we went full spread sometimes. Obviously, not blocking too many people, but just having that like second option and stuff. So um, it was really fun, man. Like I said, I did that with Mayhem for a couple years. Um, obviously kept in contact with all the guys that I played with. It ended up, playing with Vipers. I guess that team started in 2018, 2019. I
Okay.
played wing for them for a couple years before I moved out to Texas. So I think if you can move a little bit, I think it's a pretty natural transition. The biggest thing about wing is it's just like when you're scrambling or rolling out as a quarterback, as long as you're always attacking the line, you're keeping your eyes downfield, and you just make the decisions quick.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy transition.
Okay. Okay. Best wide receiver you've played with and DB you've played against.
Wow. Um, I gotta think here. It's gonna be hard for me to give you one name. Um, a throwback name, best receiver I played with, TC from Prime Time, old Prime Time. I don't think a lot of people will know that name on here, but he played with Prime Time since I started playing flag. Probably stopped. He had a pretty bad knee injury in a flag game. Probably 2016, 17, 18 time frame. He was an absolute dog. Just one of those guys. There's an old story. I played in a tournament with him when I was probably 16, 17 years old. We get in the huddle. We're like tied, getting down towards the end of the game. Hadn't really been getting the ball much. And he just kind of pulls me aside. He's like, look, man, I'm going to run a double move. I don't know what it's going to start with, but it's going to end in a post. I was like, all right. He said, just give yourself a couple seconds and just throw it as far as you can. Sure enough, just looked one way, pumped. I look up and he's just green grass, nobody within 15 yards of him. So um, he's definitely up there. Playing with Vipers, I got to play with a ton of great receivers: LC, Amp, Tyson, Lafo. Literally anybody we put out there was a fantastic receiver. Um, Best DB. Let's see.
Who you think got the most picks off you?
It's got to be somebody from that's been playing along. Somebody from Prime Time. It's got to be. um, it's somebody like that that's going to be up there. A lot of those guys like Reese and I used to play those guys every single season, multiple times a season. So there's a lot of really good ones. I really like I like Khalil. He plays with the Vipers right now, but he's played for a few different teams. We went to high school together. He's a really tough cover. I mean, he's 6'2", 6'3", long arms, good speed. Like dude's a really good corner. I really like Luck. I never had a chance to play with him. He played with us with Avengers. I could tell he's super technical. Glenn, same thing. Like there's some really good athletes out there. So DB's a little tougher because again, man, in flag, it's our style is not a lot of it's not one on one. You know what I'm saying? You guys saw against you, like if I threw 20 passes, probably 18 of them went to the wing. You know what I'm saying? So like it's hard to we want to take those kind of things out of the game whenever we can. The one on one jump ball type situations.
Okay, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, what's the one route you throw that tells you instantly your arm is gonna be on today? Like you feeling it.
Probably like a good like intermediate dig route, like something like 10 to 15 yards, um, something like that, or like a hole shot against like cover two down the sideline. Nothing too crazy, not trying to throw a 50, 60 yard bomb or
Uh,
anything like that.
Break down that terminology for me. You said a whole route?
Yeah, so like a hole shot. So like if a lot of times when you play full spread, some teams, and it does work. This is not saying that it doesn't, but they'll play like a modified cover two where the corners play up real tight. They want to jam the outside receivers, and then they'll shoot the wings. They'll sit there and they'll shoot the wings if you throw the ball out there. So a lot of times what you'll get is if you can hold the safety somewhat close to the middle of the field, as soon as you look to the wing, the corner is going to look to obviously jump that, and you can put a ball somewhere 10 to 20 yards down the sideline, in between. The safety doesn't have time to get over. Corner's obviously playing up towards the wing. That's just a fun ball to throw in general if you can, because it's normally on a rope. You got to get it out there pretty quick so the safety doesn't jump it. But that's always a good one. And like I said, a good dig route is kind of if I'm throwing something like 10, 15 yards up the middle and it feels good, it's coming out flat. I feel like my arm's going to be good to go for the rest of the game.
That's dope. All right. What's the difference between confidence in your arm and forcing a throw?
Your footwork, your technique. Um, yeah, that's all it really comes down to. So again, in flag, it's tough. You're not going to get a lot of people aren't going to play 3, 4 down linemen, block everything. It's not going to be like regular football, right? Where it's 3-step drop, you're reading the defense. It's a lot of just getting out there, kind of improvising. You obviously are reading defenses, but there's just a lot of nuance to it. So even with all the chaos that goes on, where you got a guy that runs a 4.5 or something like that, who's rushing you, who's obviously a lot faster than I am, just like still staying true to my footwork. A lot of times, if I know I'm getting rid of the ball quick, you'll see me like my feet will be lined up a little bit differently. I might have my right foot back a lot more if I'm going to my right. That way, as soon as I catch, I can just kind of pivot and release. That's all. That's all that really comes down to. Those. As long as your technique's good, that's going to make you feel confident. Forcing a throw is if you're not doing those things pre-snap, you know what I'm saying, or when you get the ball, you're kind of just nonchalant back there with your feet and stuff. That's where you get yourself into trouble because there are so many good. Like everybody out there is an athlete. If it's 7, 8 of those guys are going to be guys that play DB or receiver or something like that. They're going to break on the ball.
Okay. What's your approach keeping a huddle locked in when things aren't going right?
I think connecting with the guys on the sideline, like when you're not on the field, and letting them know, like, hey, when we get on the field, no matter the situation, no matter what is going on out there, I need you to fully trust me. And I think you only get that when you talk to them before the game, after the game, sideline, during the week, whatever. We had that a lot in states this past weekend where like there was a lot of stuff open all at once, right? I know a lot of teams from up north struggle to cover the full spread because there's different rules and it's a completely different format and that you guys don't see it all the time. I mean, there was plays where it was like 3 or 4 things could have been open, but we're just going to stick to this one thing until a team makes the adjustment to do it. So just having the confidence to say like, hey, I got you back. I'm gonna listen to you on the sideline. We can talk whatever. When we get out there, whatever I call, you got to run your routes. And we had that a few times where I'd throw it out to the wing and a guy wasn't running towards the flats, or I'd throw it out to the wing and they would kind of hesitate. Same thing with me. Like I would tell my guys, hey, we're going to run this, and then I wouldn't commit to making that throw. So if you just go out there and commit to it 100%, I think that gives everybody the buy-in to play their part.
I like that. What's the hardest part about flag that nobody prepares you for?
Hardest part about flag. Honestly, I think the teams that come out there that don't have the chemistry and experience, you look at a team like Coalition or teams that have been doing it for a really long time. There's a reason those guys have, they haven't changed their roster. They've been playing together for 10, 15 years. They don't have the best athletes at every single position, but they can compete with anybody in the state. I think a lot of people, especially now, you're kind of in a transition period, in my opinion, especially in this format. There's a lot of teams that dominated for a really long time that are, starting to, age out or just not put the time in. They're not playing every single league game. They're not traveling because they got families or whatever the deal is. I think a lot of teams think, oh, we got the athletes, we can go out there and do this. But you might go out there and play a team like Avengers, or you might play a team that you feel like you have better athletes than, but it's like every couple plays, it's like, how the fuck are they getting 10, 15, 20? You know what I'm saying? Like, or the quarterback's just like, he's just throwing it to the wing every play. Like, he can't do this. And then all of a sudden you're getting beat over top 20, 25 yards over your head. So
there's nothing worse than playing against a team that runs with 3 plays.
Yep.
Like that's it. They just run the same 2 or 3 plays. It's like, yo, am I good or not? Like, what is going on? Like,
well, and that's the thing. Like, to really answer your question, I mean, I think that's the biggest part that people don't talk about. There's a reason that yes, the Vipers and Savages and Chopin, like all those guys, like, yes, those guys are great athletes in their own right, but all those guys have been playing together for so long, man. Different formats. They talk during the week. They're friends outside of flag, obviously. Like that's what it all comes down to. It's not the very rarely is it going to be one person that's going to go out there and beat you single handedly, or two people even. Um, if you can stick together, Kai and a lot of the guys from Richmond have been talking about it a lot with a team like Reroute, who's a little bit newer to flag, but they've truly stuck to their core. If those guys stick together, they'll be great. It doesn't matter who they pick up or what other people want to say. Like those guys are going to be able to compete at a high level because at the end of the day, you're coming out there on a Sunday or a Saturday, or for you guys during the weeknights or whatever, you're coming out there for an hour or two to play flag. You're not practicing. You're not watching film. You're not doing all the things that like a quote unquote football team would do. But you guys have been playing together for 2, 3, 4 years at a time. So, if you and I play together for a couple of years and I look at you and you see the defense lining up a certain way, I might not even have to tell you what to run. You're going to run it and the ball's going to be there. Right. So I think that's what a lot of teams fail to understand. And that's why there's generally the same 4, 5, 6 teams that are in conversation every single year at states and some of these other tournaments.
It's funny. I had a weird question when you just said that. I don't know whether it's a better feeling for the quarterback or the receiver when they look at each other and they look down the field like, you see that, you see that. I don't know who feels better the fact that we're on the same page. Or like that
It's got
definitely
to
is
be
a good feeling.
it's got to be the quarterback for sure. Because the another thing that a lot of people don't realize is so like if you just look at a traditional um football game, like you might have what 4 people running a route, whereas flag everybody's eligible, so
Mm.
it's really hard to get everybody on the same page. So if you have that chemistry with a receiver where you can, to your point, look at each other, or like I mean, there was times this weekend where I'd look at a guy like Jayon or Snug. We've been playing together for going on 10 years at this point. We're like, run this that we put in like 6, 7 years ago in a completely different format, but it translates because we're seeing kind of the same look on this half of the field, right? Or at least one of them knows, what exactly we're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, definitely. I can think of 2 quarterbacks offhand that I'm finally kind of getting that with, and it's definitely a good feeling, yo. Like,
For sure.
especially when that ball come out, like, oh yeah, we were on the same page, perfect,
That's
dog.
right.
Like, and it's
I
funny,
love it.
funny with me. It's usually just a goddamn slant. That's all
Right.
it can be.
Hey, but that's all you need, man. That's what we talked about that going into the tournament is like we had so many athletes out there. It's like all I got to do is get those guys the ball, and it's flag. It's you
Yeah,
could be one missed flag pull away from
yeah.
breaking one wide open.
People keep saying it's football, but the word flag comes first, so just make them pull the flag. That's what all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. What hurts more? What hurts more? Getting your flag pulled on the 1 yard line, throwing a pick six, fumbling a fourth down snap.
God, those would all be terrible.
Have all 3 of them happen to you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna say probably fumbling the snap. That's a mental error more than the rest. A pick six could be a tip ball. It could be anything. Pulling your flag at the 1 yard line. You know, shit's obviously gonna happen. But yeah, dropping a snap is, especially if it's anywhere close to. If it hits your hands, you got it. Same thing as being a receiver. If it hits your hands, you got to make something happen. So yeah, there's very few feelings like dropping a snap, especially when you're lined up in full spread, you're 10, 12, 14 yards back sometimes. That's a rough feeling.
Yeah, it's funny because it's all you. Nothing else happened but
Is it?
you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. Everybody saw it. You can't hide. Even if you're a receiver and you drop a ball, there's a million excuses. But yeah, if you're a
Yeah.
quarterback standing back there and you drop a snap, that's a tough look.
And I'm thinking of a way to ask the question for as the quarterback run. It's like you saw the receiver and everybody saw him, but you chose to run. And
Yep.
then you got your flag pulled short. That's a feeling, you know what I mean?
For sure. I think when I was a little bit younger, I might have been more inclined to run, but I mean, even this weekend, unless we truly got a look where, it was just one person rushing, like I really try to get the ball. There's 8 people out there. I'm probably the least athletic. Like I want to get the ball to to the rest of the guys. So I try not to run whenever I can.
All right, all right. What feels better? A no-look tutty, a dime between defenders, or a 3-step deep ball?
Probably just throwing a dime. Yeah, throwing a good ball for sure. Again, that's you doing your part. No look passes. I try to stick away from that too, because again, if you're not familiar with with who you're playing, you might not know that that's in the bag. But yeah, I think throwing a good ball, there's very few feelings that are better than that.
Okay, okay. Most picks you've thrown in the game.
It's um man, in flag, it's probably my first taste of like a competitive flag. I was playing with Mayhem. I was probably 16 years old. We used to have a weeknight league out at Dory. Um, they used to play on like Mondays, like early in the week. I don't know exactly what day. Brad texted me that day. I'm in school. And he's like, hey, or whoever was playing quarterback for him at the time, I can't remember. They can't make it. You want to come out and play? I was like, yeah, let's go. I had no clue we were playing prime. I didn't know anything, right? I was just like, let's go out there and play. Easily threw 5 or 6 picks that night. Easily. Because I'm coming from a regular, I still don't understand flag that well. So I'm like, yeah, we got to block everything up. I'm calling all these like elaborate route combinations and stuff. And I'm getting eaten up, right? Like prime time's always going to send one more than we can block. And
Yeah.
they got guys that play DB. And yeah, I've easily thrown 5 or 6 picks in a game. No shame at all.
Did that sit with you the next day in school? I mean, I know you. I don't know. Did you not care, or did it sit with you the next day because you are a
Oh
quarterback
no,
coach?
yeah, for sure. Well, because then you come from in my mind, I was like, I can go out there and it's just flag. I can go out there
Yeah.
and play with these guys. So yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there the next day. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell just happened? Like, I have no clue, and you don't know how to beat it, right? Because those guys have been playing even at that point, been playing 10, 15 years. So, um, and there's been plenty of other games too where I've thrown multiple picks, and it's just the worst feeling because now that I'm a little bit older, got more games under my belt, it all comes down to getting the guys the ball.
Mhm.
So when you feel like you can't do that as a quarterback, you feel like not only are you fucking up, but you're feeling like you're letting everybody down. So yeah, that's never a good feeling.
All right. On the flip side, most touchdowns you've thrown in the game.
I have no clue. um,
You think you thrown number five?
yeah, we had a game. Um, some of the Vipers guys will remember this. We played a game out at Dory on the back field. There's like a field that's like kind of tucked away in the back. Chauncey wasn't able to make it. I played quarterback. I think we won like 70-0. We played a team that was they had I no joke. I can't remember the name of this team. Some of the Richmond guys remember. I remember the guy's name was Bernard. He was in an arm, he was in like a sling on his non-throwing arm. They showed up with 8. We showed up with like 15, and it was the Vipers. We had a good squad. We were just trying stuff. And yeah, I mean, if we won 70-0, I had to have thrown at least 5 or 6, but that was a really fun game.
Do you remember your deepest pass or your longest pass?
I remember the first states I played in with the Vipers. I was playing wing. I didn't start that game. They had PK out there. PK came out after a couple drives. Chauncey put me in. I threw a deep like backside post to Steve for a touchdown. That was a good like 50-yard ball. And then turned around on the next drive and ran one for like 40 or 50 yards. I think that was probably one of the highlights of like playing with the Vipers. That was kind of like my coming out party where I was like, all right, I can finally actually get some good PT out here. So, um, but yeah, I mean, there's been a few. I think that's probably the one that sticks out in my mind though.
Okay. Where you topping that out now? Deep.
Shit, I have no clue. I told the guys we were going back to the hotel Saturday night. I threw one to Jayon that I missed. I threw it inside as opposed to throwing it outside. And I told him I felt like SpongeBob. Like when I threw the ball, I thought my arm was like stuck to the ball going down the field. If I could get one, I could probably get one 50 yards if I needed to. But I need to stretch and it need to be like late in the game for sure.
Favorite pair of cleats and jersey. You have them? You know
Favorite pair of cleats, the original Nike Vapors for sure. The ones that came out in like 2012 or whatever that was. I think everybody, a lot of people, if you had those are probably the ones.
them?
Um, best jersey as far as flag, man. Um, I mean, I love it. Shout out to Keith. Obviously, the Avengers jerseys this weekend, those were really cool. He threw those together literally in a day.
Mm.
It was literally like, what do we want to be called? People threw out like 20 different names, pick the name, pick the color, and I mean, he had the jerseys in within like a week. So shout out to him. My guy Black made a for all the dads out there. I got a Miss Rachel jersey that he made for me. That one's really nice. There's so many great ones out there, man. People are super creative. All the Vipers jerseys, those are always really cool. Even some of like, man, I I remember like the original Mayhem jerseys that we had were like actual football jerseys, like the big shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
So like we've had a few for sure.
You
If I
prefer
had
the
to
bigger
pick,
ones? You prefer the loose ones? You prefer the snug ones? Which one you prefer?
man, being like 225 now, I'd love to wear a loose jersey if I could. It's got to be tight though, man, because you don't want people grabbing on your jersey and stuff. So, but I mean, I think that's a really cool part about flag too, is like people get to go out there and kind of showcase some creativity, and people get to, you see guys wearing stuff on Sunday or on Saturdays at the college level, and like, I saw a ton of people out there with, you know, whatever the new cleat that Nike puts out, the foam cleats this past weekend, like everybody had those. And
Yeah.
I remember when they dropped the Grinch, the Kobe Grinch cleats, like everybody wanted to get those. So that's a really cool part of flag. Like it lets you go out there and kind of still be involved a little bit.
Like they say, look good, feel good, play good.
That's right, for sure. I wore the Jordan cleats for the first drive of the Coalition game, and those came off immediately. So those are killing my feet. I think I'm about done with those.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting to a comfort over style part of my life right now, dog.
100%.
Because like I said, I keep buying cleats, and by the second half, I end up putting them same old joints on. I have like 4 years.
Exactly. And I feel like everybody's the same way, man. Like you find that one pair, it's like, damn, these don't really hurt my feet. Like they're comfortable. They look kind of decent. But yeah, it's the same thing. You put the new ones on, you look sweet. And then, yeah, first drive is like, nah, where they? I don't care what color they are. Like we were wearing baby blue, they could have been bright green. I wouldn't have mattered. Like, just get something that's comfortable on my foot.
Especially if you're a Nike head, because these things ain't comfortable.
Oh, terrible. But no, yeah, I mean, it's hard to find another good football cleat, man. Like you don't really have a ton of options out there. I feel like
I've had a lot of people on here, and I've asked this question. And they all talk about soccer, so I tried 2 pair of soccer cleats, but they didn't tell me you had to go a size up. So I got 2 pair of soccer joints, and I take off after the first drop. Like, yeah, this shit's too tight, man. I need to go back to mine.
Well, on soccer cleats, the only difference between a football and a soccer cleat is the toe cleat. There's no front cleat like right on your toe. So for me, that's not a big deal. I'm not doing a lot of like stopping and going. But like if you're a DB or something and you're in your back pedal and you need to get out, like you're in soccer cleats, you don't have that extra that toe cleat. That might be a problem. But I mean, some of those dudes out there, they're so athletic. They could come out there in tennis shoes. It doesn't matter.
All right, well, 4th and goal, 10-yard line. What you calling? What's your first read?
I've noticed a lot of teams go to like a 5 across defense when you get down to the goal line. I'm probably running some sort of like switch. We'll go 2 receivers on each side, some sort of switch, a post and an out, a dig and an out, a dig and a corner. Might even like motion somebody across and go like 2 clear out and a dig, keeping the safety in the middle of the field. And I'm just trusting my outside guy to beat whoever that corner is, put a good ball, make sure they're in the end zone, put it right on their chest and hope they make a play. So we had that this weekend with BO. Shout out to Joe. He made the play call. Same thing, they went 5 across. We just made the switch, kept the safety in the middle of the field. And I knew as soon as that inside corner turned his shoulders or anything, I was just throwing it right off his back and it ended up working out. So that's the go-to for sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, man, that's 4 for 10. I enjoyed this, man. Appreciate your time, yo.
Yeah, no problem, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate everything. Shout out everybody. Shout out Jesse. Glad he's getting better. And appreciate you having me on.
Right back at you, bro.
All right, man. I'll see you.
Right, to the next tournament, yo.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah, season's over, but the content ain't stopping. We clearing the vault this week. 5 4 for 10 episodes dropping back to back, including someone from our recent top 20s list. Talking about Monday through Friday. No days off over here. Now I'm talking about